So the next session is importance of CV, the ERAS CV, letters of recommendations, and primarily what program directors are looking for. And we'll have Fatima and Avneet, our math students, talk about this. So let's go to you, Fatima.
So hi, I'm Fatima Shekna. So I matched into internal medicine residency in St. Joe's Medical Center. So again, so I had a chance to speak with one of the program directors. He was a fellowship program director. So I got to know what program directors look for in your CV. So what he told, the information which I got was he told me your experiences, the US clinical experiences should be the most recent ones, like less than a year, and your language, your grammar, it's really important. And if you had a chance, you can just ask them people to review your CV. I think I asked multiple people to review my CV and my personal statement, so that did help a lot. So grammar is an important part, and again, your CV should be concise. It should not be so small or so long. That is really important. And try to make bullet points out of the CV, and try to make their CV as a really professional one. So CV is really important. And I want to emphasize the importance of hobbies section. That is also really important. Hobbies sometimes serve as a start point for a good conversation. So CV is an important part of your medical application, and you can even if you have low scores and even if you're old graduate, you can easily cover up those points by having a good competitive CV. So get it reviewed by a personalized mentor or even Sarthi team. You can ask them to review the CV. That did help me a lot. I felt that it was one of the reasons which made me to get a few interviews, like a good count of interviews. So CV is an important thing. And again, regarding the LORs, so LORs should be a personalized LOR, and LORs from a program director or an associate program director have a great impact. So try to get good LORs and be punctual to your rotations. You can send your LORs writers to your CV as well as your personal statement, so that they can orient writing the LOR according to your personal statement. And yeah, these are the few things which help me. So good competitive LOR and a good CV can fetch you a lot of interviews. And yeah, so these are the few things. And one more thing, right? Just ask your LOR writers to upload it before the deadline. So that is also really important. Like before 20th September, your application should be perfectly ready so that you will get more interviews. And any more questions?
Thank you. Sorry. You were saying something, Fatima?
No. I'm just asking you. Yeah.
Okay. So the next speaker is Avneet, and she has a slightly different profile. She's also going to talk about the CV, LORs, and what program directors look for. She does have a US master's, and she also wanted to give you some tips on how to maximize the use of resources that you have. So whether it's FRIDA, Residency Explorer, other official resources, or even the Sarthi resources. So Avneet.
Hi, everyone. I am Avneet Arora. I am a 2016 graduate. I did my master's in public health at University of California here in Berkeley. I matched into internal medicine at my top choice at a university program. So everyone here who thinks is an old graduate and can't match into a university program, please don't let that stop you from at least trying and applying. You never know what from your profile they can end up liking, and your interview can go really well and you can get ranked to match just like me. So coming back to talking about personal statements, CV, and letters of recommendation, I understand for people who come from India, personal statement is the most difficult document to create. We have never written something like this. When somebody told me, sit and write your story, I was like, I don't have a story. I saw my father doing medicine. I went into medicine. And they were like, write this. Write what is true to yourself. Write what got you into medicine. Don't start with the sick patients because the PDs are tired of reading that. People keep on talking about what happened with the patient and how it affected you. You would rather change it to why you took up this field, why you got into medicine, what happened during that rotation that changed your mind. You can just write one line about the patient, but what changed you, what changed your mind is more important in the personal statement because it is your story and not a case report. So please, 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 please keep that in mind. The second thing is people try to put on all those heavy English vocabulary words from thesaurus. Please do not do that. Try to avoid. I can give you an example. Like you can use, I'm fascinated by this field. I was intrigued towards pursuing it rather than using words like internal medicine captivated me or I'm mesmerized to pursuing this field. Something that the PDs are looking for is a simple personal statement which has a good flow and gets them interested. If you use all these heavy words, they'll have to go back and forth reading into those sentences. The flow is lost, the interest is lost, the idea is lost. They don't have that time. They're reviewing 2,000 applications. So please keep that in mind. For letters of recommendation, I did my clinical rotations as well as my research projects under the same physicians. So my letters had my research skills being highlighted as well as my clinical experiences. And that was appreciated in almost all of my interviews because they took up those projects and they talked about it and they're like, we're really impressed how this was written about you. Can you please elaborate on what you did? It was a very interesting project. We really liked what you did. Can you please discuss more? So all of these things were being talked about because my letter writers wrote that in my letters of recommendation. And that was so important for me. I specifically asked them, like, this is what I have done. I'm applying for internal medicine. I would highly appreciate if you could write me a strong letter of recommendation. And they understand that because they are program directors. They are doing this year after year. So they would not write you a generalized one if you ask them for that. But to be in that place to ask them, work under them very nicely. Be polite, be professional, and the most important, just be humble. Don't act like I've come from India, I've done my residency, I'm better than everyone. Have that humility when you're working here. It's going to take you a long way in this journey. Trust me on that. For my CV, the other thing was I tried to use all appropriate active verbs. So my first draft was volunteering experiences, setting up free clinics. I got it checked from one of my Native American friend, and he was like, you can use organized, conducted. And those were much better quality of words saying the same thing and much better active verbs to be used in that context. So that really helped my CV to take it up a notch, to make the person who is reading it a little more interested rather than just simply writing, setting up free clinics. From resources standpoint, FRIDA, Residency Explorer, everybody uses that. Everybody needs those program lists, which programs to search for, what are their cutoff for points, visa seeking, everything. What really helped me was to understand how to make the most of these resources. FRIDA, Residency Explorer, make that Excel sheet as Ritika has already spoken about. What helped me was Sarthi's interview preparation. They have webinars, be it free or be it for the Sarthi students. I always signed up. I always sat and attended it. Even if I couldn't turn on my video, my earphones were always in my ears. I was listening. They have touch points at monthly basis. They would keep up webinars of outreaching in October. They would keep up webinars of people who have less interviews. How can you reach out more for those people in November? So at every month timeline, they have those targeted webinars that are happening, which really helps you keep in touch with the journey and what is happening right now. Okay, October is the month to reach out. November is the month for people who didn't get too many interviews. Start preparing for your step 3 and start reaching out even more aggressively. So all of these things you would understand only if there were people guiding you who have done this year after year. The interview preparation, being a Sarthi student, every month there were so many interview sessions being held. I made it a point to watch all of those videos every month. Everybody knows what to say. how to say it and how to elevate all of those sentences, highlighting your skills and what you have learned is so much more important than just being able to say, for example, if people ask me in the interview, did you have a difficult patient? Everybody has a difficult patient, but how you're not supposed to talk about the patient here. You're supposed to talk about what you did. How did you handle the situation? What did you learn from the situation? And what would you be doing further on if there was something similar happening? That is what they want to know. They want to know what you have learned, what are the skills that you have gained, and what you bring to the table. So be confident, and instead of talking about patience more, talk about yourself, talk about your journey, talk about your skills and what you get to the table. That is so much more important to highlight your skills. And I believe I answered all of these questions. If there's anything else, I can talk more.